but 6,500 is still a very good crowd for this Whitehaven Rugby League ground. There's the two captains. Aaron Lester, the hooker for Whitehaven. We'll see plenty of him today, especially if his side are to be successful. And Lee Breers with the
rugby, what do you want to do?
Hairstyle fashion that
turn round,
defies one or two critics in that department.
Okay, guys.
But he'll let his rugby league skills speak for themselves, I'm sure, today. There is some real talent in this Whitehaven backline. Fullback Gary Broadbent is still good enough to be playing in Super League. Central number 4 Mick Nanning might soon be playing in Super League. There are several clubs watching him carefully. The pack contains plenty of power and experience, led by hooker Aaron Lester, a former junior Kiwi international. And watch out for how hard Brett McDermott works today, the number 11. Warrington's star man is undoubtedly the standoff, number 6 Lee Breers, for whom much might flow this afternoon. The pack has loose forward number 13 Mike Forshaw as their driving force. Close season signing from Bradford, he's still in terrific form. And the Whitehaven substitutes include Craig Chambers, whose brother Gary is Warrington's assistant coach. The Warrington subs include Warren Stevens, a former Whitehaven player. And our referee today is Steve Ganson, still looking for his first Challenge Cup final appearance, hoping for a big afternoon today that might just book him a place in Cardiff. Well, they're about to get this underway. Whitehaven may be a team of part-timers, but they are nuclear powered. 13 of today's starting 17 work at Sellafield just down the road, and the passion of a full house inside the rectory, and you have the potential for something quite special here today, Martin O'Fire.
Yeah, it's a big day, a very big day for Whitehaven today. Probably the biggest day since John Paul Jones invaded us at Whitehaven Harbour back in the 1700s, getting up in my local knowledge.
Martin's been doing his history. John Paul Jones was a guy who used to work in Whitehaven, went out to America, founded the American Navy, and then came back to bomb Whitehaven Harbour.
Got a bit of information from John Risman down at Fletcher Christian pub down in a little town called Cockermouth.
There's plenty to learn in these parts, and I think that Warrington and the wider watching audience will learn how good this Whitehaven team is today. It's a kick downfield by Lee Kinney, and his testimonial took a deflection, it's play on, it's picked up by Broadbent, and here's Howard Hill. Hill back inside, Broadbent spins, nobody quite close enough, but what a start for Whitehaven. Just what they wanted. Getting the momentum early. Here's Aaron Lester. Out it goes to Leroy Joe. Joe just tries to pop it inside. Fatialofa is going to be held up.
Definitely what Warrington didn't need.
Picked up by Lester. Here's Broadbent, the fullback, who's certainly getting involved here. They are that close. It's nerve-tingling stuff here at the moment. Here's Kinney again. Little duck by him, but he's marshalled well in Wainwright. He's able to make the tackle. Lester out to this right-hand side of Nanning. Sixth tackle coming up. Whitehaven are that close. Back it's spun. Little chip, but it's too hard, and it'll bounce out of play from Kinney's boot, and it'll be a tap up on the 20.
Yes, a little bit of fortune there. The kick came off a Warrington player, and it looked like if Gary Broadbent picked it up in the move a couple of times, but came to no avail there. But as I say, it's...
Well, 3 years ago, when Paul Cullen was in charge of Whitehaven, they met St Helens, who were then world champions in the Challenge Cup, and they gave them a real battle that day, did Whitehaven, the part-timers. They lost by 12 in the end, but they scored first through Aaron Lester, and there were shades of that just a few moments ago. But it remains scoreless.
I think there's going to be a lot of passion today, and Warrington are going to want to get that passion out of the game and just basically get their sets completed, get this game won, and just get the hell out of Dodge, because it's going to be a pretty fiery encounter today.
Here's Lester at dummy half. Warrington are caught offside. By the referee, Steve Ganson. Penalty goes Whitehaven's way. It'll give them a real piggyback up the field, this, won't it, now?
Yeah, that's two bits of fortune that Whitehaven have had. As I say, these first 20 minutes can be very important, very crucial, and it's going to be up to the Warrington side, as I said before, to take the passion out of this game. It's packed to the rafters, 6,500 people crammed into this tiny little ground at the Recreation, and as I say, Whitehaven will want the crowd to make as much noise as possible to help them continue this fight, because it's going to get pretty hairy in the second half when they'll be blowing on all cylinders.
Leicester waits at dummy half again, a former Auckland Warriors player. Giddy puts it inside to Mark Jackson, who's got a good offload on him, and there it's proved. Just opening things up for Leicester partially. Here's Kiddie. Hill. Oh, that was a little high from Nathan Wood. Spotted by Steve Ganson, the referee. And the penalty goes Whitehaven's way.
As you can see, Nathan Wood there with a high shot.
And they're going for goal. Nathan Wood.
How we do? Howard!
Had a spell with Balmain and Sydney Roosters and New Zealand Warriors before coming here and playing for Wakefield and now Warrington. The man who's given it away. And Mick Nannin will take this first kick at goal. Now, he is prolific, isn't he? He kicked 123 goals in just 32 appearances for Rochdale last year. He scores a few tries as well. He's already got 10 tries in only 8 games for Whitehaven this year. The Warrington side can not allow him too many shots at goal. And that's the reason why.
More than happy to see that kick. A great kick by Mick Nannin, as you say. Attracted a lot of interest from a lot of Super League clubs. Wakefield included, and I'm sure there'll be a few other Super League coaches with a keen eye on this game.
Aficionados of rugby league would rather call him Mick Nannin Jr. because, of course, his dad, Mick Nannin, was a good forward, wasn't he, in his day? Played for Wigan. Lee Briers with a restart for Warrington.
Looks like he's big enough to play the forwards himself, although he's run around with number 4 on his back.
It's Mark Jackson.
Wait!
Leicester's the dummy half. Howard Hill runs like a front rower and looks like a front rower, but he wears 13. There's Fatty Alofa. Leicester. Looking wide for Graham Morton, one of the many ex-Kells players, the local amateur team, who go towards making up the bulk of this Whitehaven side. Here's Leicester. It's a decent kick. Westwood should have it covered and does, but it's a good chase by Whitehaven, and that really is their trademark, really, is it the organisation that they bring to the game.
Yeah, I had spent a bit of time with Steve McCormack in the latter stages of my career at Salford, and he's a very good organiser of sides. I saw their last round victory against Batley, and they're a very organised side, and I think that's what they'll be looking for today, with a high shot going in there by Lee Kiddie.
Well, it's the two scrum halves who have given the penalties away so far in this game, and Paul Wood was taken a little too high here. No, you can't do that, can you? Lee Kiddie, who's in the best form of his career at the moment. Sam Obst has just been signed from Australia, and he's likely to take Kiddie's place, but Kiddie's trying to keep hold of that shirt. Here's Cardis for Warrington in the meantime. Briers searching and testing the Whitehaven defence for the first time here. Clark wants to get on with it. Ball back inside to Forshaw. Couldn't quite find the route through. Woods at dummy half. Paul Wood, that is. Knapwood was behind him, but it was a quick move by the defence. It's been given away, and the referee was playing their advantage there, and in the end has given the penalty because the markers weren't square.
A bit of a let-off for the Warrington side there, with the opportunity to square things up. As we see number 9, Aaron Leicester, a bit too eager, a bit too keen there.
It's not for that, it's for not square.
Well, they are showing them maybe scant respect here, because well, no, they're going for goal in the end. I was going to say Lee Briers is perhaps showing a little scant respect by taking the tap and going for the try, but they're going for the 2 points in the end, and that is very sensible. There's a lot of talking going on here at the moment. Aaron Leicester is still having a word with Steve Ganson about this penalty.
Let's get one thing sorted now where we're going. You're not square. That's not my fault, that's your fault. Now once it happens, accept the decision, get yourself square. Doesn't matter if you're on the line, if you're not still square. Get square. Get square.
Get square, I think, is the message. I don't think he could have misinterpreted that, could he?
Yeah, I think he feels a bit aggrieved, a bit hard done by that penalty.
Lee Briers will take his time with this. Good to see him back in the game as well, Lee Briers. He had that awful wrist injury last year, middle of the season, that kept him out for the whole of last season. He got pretty down in those times he was away from the game as well, but back, fully fit now, and very important to this Warrington side. They used to say that Warrington were a one-man team, and Lee Briers was that one man, but I think Warrington have proved otherwise, but he's still very important to them, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a very important figure to them. But I think the form of Graham Appo last season, when Briers was injured, proved that they have got other players that can perform that position, but in an ideal world, you'd love to have Lee Briers in your side.
Well, for his goal kicking, if nothing else, that was a fairly straightforward effort for the Warrington standoff. 2-2 the scoreline, and they're still having a word with each other here. Aaron Lester, the number 9, who's been here now for 7 years. He's been around a bit, and he's just making his presence felt with the referee as well. Nane with a restart. 2-2. Just about 9 minutes played. This is Hilton now for Warrington. Clark wanted it quicker play the ball than that. That's a little more pacey this time. That's one department where Warrington could get a real advantage here, isn't it? With a quick play the ball, a series of quick play the balls just to put Whitehaven on the back foot.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of passion in this game, but they want to do the technical things right, play the ball quick, you know, get the line moving up quick, and basically make Whitehaven play a game at a certain level which they're not used to. Obviously, playing in Super League is a lot higher than playing in the Northern Four Premiership, and as I say, as time goes on, that difference in class may tell.
Good pick up by O'Neill. It's Broadbent from dummy half. You see a lot of that as well. He's a full back, but he doesn't half operate an awful lot from dummy half, doesn't he?
Ever since his days at Salford, Gary Broadbent was always an all-action player in his own half. He'd be, you know, back up the forwards, take him onto that dummy half, and look for him to play more of a supporting role when the ball gets down in the Warrington half.
Here's Fatty Alopo looking for Morton on that left-hand side. He's going to be carried out of play, is he? No, he's not. Just about stays in. This is Leroy Joe. Chunky little standoff. Good offload on him. Leicester helps it on his way. Was that a knock-on by Forshaw? No, it wasn't. Play on, says the referee. 6 tackles from here. Here's Natwood. Clark, former Wigan player, and with the London Broncos as well. Here's Wainwright. Clark once more. Civic. Wrestled down very well by Mick Nane.
That'll be an interesting battle today, these two big players down this left-hand side.
Briers. Bit of an overlap developing here as Cardis helps it on its way. Gross steps back inside. Whitehaven's defence moved across very smartly, and again with great organisation. Wilshire from dummy half. They're carrying it towards this Whitehaven line again. But here comes the 6th tackle. Last chance in this sequence now as Briers dabs it through. Leroy Joe is back, and rather simple take in the end. And Broadbent clears it. Good start by Whitehaven, isn't it, in all departments?
Yeah, very good start. We're only 11 minutes into the game, and I think Steve McCormack will be quite happy being 2-2.
Well, this is a good set. They've really cleared their lines effectively. And then brings it out up to Leicester. Now it's with Kiddie. He's inside his 40. This should slip past Wiltshire, but of course problems, but it doesn't. Happy New Gideon with a safe take. Briers. Cardis. Briers again. Nice hit with the drive. Clark. Clattering stuff by Paul Wood again. Forced his way to the Great Britain setup last season before injury denied him a place in the Test series. That's a nice chip, but Broadbent's taken it safely again. And back to the department where it is handy to have a quality player like him. Now, was he held there before he was dragged back? No, he wasn't. There was no stop in the tackle. The referee said it was all part of one moment, and so it'll be a dropout underneath the sticks.
I can see Gary Broadbent there doing a lot of work, but wasn't quite down and was should have had some help there from his teammates. There's 3 Warrington players on, just pulled him over the line there, and it's a drop out under the sticks.
There's Paul Cullen, former Whitehaven coach, of course. He told me earlier this week they'll want my head on a stick today, but he was looking forward to it nonetheless. I think he's loved it this week, building up to this game. At the club he helped turn around. That's a good dropper. That's a terrific dropper. Huge, huge blow downfield. And if spirits were dampened by the tackle, they'll have been lifted again with that kick. Now, there's no wind to speak of. It was just brute force, that, wasn't it?
It was a great kick, very impressive. Covered all over 50, 60 metres.
Here's Wood, who's trying to make some of those metres back again. Here's Clark at dummy half now. Forshaw is to his left. He dummies him and finds Wainwright, who's lifted in the air by McDermott, who is such an impressive defender. Great work rate he's got. Forshaw again. Runs into trouble. Clark. Matt Wood. Holding and holding and hoping that something will develop, and now it might. Here's Breers. Spins a good one. Brent Gross is on his way. Wilsh is on the outside. He's beaten one, and he's in at the corner. Steve Ganson will take a look at this. Will he need an extra pair of eyes? No, he won't. Try is given, and first blood in the try-scoring stakes to Warrington's John Wilshire.
Just what the doctor ordered. A long ball by Lee Breers finds Brent Gross there out on the right-hand side, and John Wilshire evades the tackle and gets it in the corner. As you can see there, just manages to evade a tackle, and Gary Broadbent, a good effort but a forlorn attempt. As you see there, I think it was Nathan Wood getting the ball out, but a great pass by Lee Breers to Gross, feeds on to Wilshire, evades the tackle of Paul O'Neill and plants the ball down in the corner. I think that will definitely settle the Warrington players' nerves, and Paul Cullen will be sitting a lot easier in the stand, I feel.
Well, those are the moments that a National League coach can't really coach for, aren't they? I mean, his team kept a tight line in the middle, but when you've got quality players who can move it out wide quickly, then that's where they're going to be caught out today.
The pass of Lee Breers was quite exceptional there, found his man on the button, didn't need to break stride Brent Gross there, and got on to John Wilshire, and he did what he's paid for, finished in the corner.
Lee Breers just being reminded there are 6,500 inside the ground, and they're hoping this might put him off, and it has. He's put it wide. John Wilshire, though, has put his side in the lead with this try.
Great little take. Straighten up the men well, committed 2 players almost. Paul O'Neill didn't have enough time to get to John Wilshire, and Gary Broadbent wasn't able to stop the try.
In amongst those 6,500, there are certainly plenty from Warrington who would have enjoyed that moment. Their side leading here by 6 points to 2, with just under 17 minutes of the first half play. Here's Hilton.
Get in square! Open square! Open square!
Clark again. The line comes Leroy Joe very quickly, leading his defence. Clark again. And it is an infringement at the play the ball by Warrington. That is sloppy. You can see Warrington with a territorial advantage in the first half. This is advantage Whitehaven here.
Yeah, you think that Warrington are starting to control the game a little bit. You don't want Whitehaven to get their heads down, and I think this penalty could raise their spirits.
Stepped off the line, didn't play the ball when he should have done, just took another couple of steps further forward. That's what the penalty was given for. Whitehaven don't care, they've got an attacking position here. Here's Kinney, back inside again, it's Craig Chambers who drives it in. He's on the field for Mark Jackson. It's going to be Leicester. Flicks it left to Leroy Joe and try the little kick. It's a lucky bounce, it'll be another 6. Fatialofa back to Broadbent. Held up still 10 yards away, but plenty of questions being asked here. This is Joe. That's a neat short pass, and Morton is trying to push his way through. Only 2 tackles gone here. Here's Kinney with a kick towards the corner, testing out Westwood. Oh, he's taken it well in the end. A real plunging catch by Ben Westwood.
Oh, that's a spot of fortune in that catch, but I think Mr. Westwood there be very happy he managed to gather that one in.
They are allowed to take quick taps, of course, on the 20s. Penalties otherwise, they're not allowed to take quick penalties these days, but quick taps is allowed. Here's Wainwright. Clark. Good ground from dummy half by him. And Breers will try to, Natwood rather, will try and carry on that momentum. Whitehaven being forced to work a little overtime at the moment, but there's only one tackle left in this set of 6. What will Breers do? Kicks it high. O'Neill is underneath him. In the field of play when he leapt and then went behind the line. So there should be a dropout underneath the 6. That's a wrong decision. That he was in the field of play.
A great take by Paul O'Neill, but it did look as if he did jump in the field of play, as the replay shows. Should have been a dropout behind the sticks.
Oh,
a bit of fortune for Whitehaven.
I think that was a touch judge on the far side who actually gave that, but it was the wrong decision. This is Wesley Wilson, playing on the wing this season. He's played most of his career full-back or centre, but doing an excellent job on the wing this year. McDermott. Was he tackled? He is now. Well, he was tackled first time, the referee decides, so the penalty.
You're a tackle, mate. You just have to play it.
You can see there, gets pulled down.
Did Wainwright have hold of him? That's the question. Did Wainwright have hold of him when he hit the ground? As Brett McDermott could have been a Super League player himself, but a couple of injuries at the wrong time in his career. Breers. Again, searching for the width. Hilton. Oh, Hilton tears through. A couple of missed tackles in there. Warrington moving close again. Here's Paul Wood. Clark to Forshaw, to Natwood. Dummies to Wainwright, tries to go himself, might just do. Good, solid defending in numbers in the end. But they have to do a lot more work here to Whitehaven, under real pressure at the moment. Forshaw. Oh, and it's been dropped by Lee Breers of all people. And that is a massive let-off for Whitehaven.
A massive let-off. Lee will be very unhappy with himself there as the ball comes across from Forshaw, long pass. I'm not sure if Lee took his eyes off the ball, but as you can see from his body position there, he was very upset with that drop.
Hey, wait.
So the head of feed goes Whitehaven's way.
Get in the scrum.
And you see the rates of the 2 packs these days not as relevant as they used to be, but still a worthy statistic. Leicester's at dummy half. Driven forward by Chambers, whose brother, of course, is sitting with the Warrington coaching staff today. Brothers in arms. Dialofa normally plays 80 minutes in the National League. It'll be interesting to see how long he lasts this afternoon. Leroy Joe back inside again. This is opening up nicely. David Seeds with a break. He's a real class player, and he's almost through. Breers got back to make the tackle, but David Seeds showing why he's had some rave reviews over the years. Leicester, here's McDermott, solidly in. But it's the 6th tackle coming up. Whitehaven 18 yards away. This is Kinney now. Leroy Joe slides it in. Should be covered by Cardis, who can watch it out of play. And it'll be a tap back on the 20 again.
Just a bit too strong. But it's good to see the Whitehaven side are responding. They have come alive. David Patalopa with a great offload. Leroy Joe turns the ball back inside to David Seeds. Great little piece of footwork there. Stepping, looking. Just can't quite see somebody to offload the ball to. And it's a great little bit of play there from the Whitehaven team, who really need to stay in this game, because you feel that if Warrington manage to score once more, that they're going to run away with this game. And we're 22 minutes into the game, and that's a crucial part.
A reminder, this is full-time against part-time. Well, not quite millionaires, but the well-paid Warrington players who are full-time against the part-timers of Whitehaven. A lot of these players working down the road at Windscale, Sellafield rather. There's the odd Coleman in there as well. They are playing not quite for fun, but a lot for fun today.
Yeah, I understand. Speaking to Gary Broadbent in the week, that because a lot of the players are on shift work, it's hard even to get them down to training sessions all of it at the right time, but I'm sure they put in a lot of extra work this week.
Regular groundsman as well, by the way, Brian Mossop, who's putting in a heck of a lot of work this week as well. He works every day without getting any pay whatsoever, does Brian. One of the many volunteers who keeps this Whitehaven club running. Doing a fine job, and good hands, but Leroy Joe not able to keep it in. David Seeds diving, and out it goes.
23 gone.
Well, there's Graham Morton, the Whitehaven player, going off.
What rate? In. You can't lean off the back, you've got to be in. Tight in.
Spencer Miller has replaced him.
Stay in, stay in.
That's a substitution that's about to be made for Warrington. Danny Lima about to come on, and Mark Hilton will be replaced in just a few moments' time. Here's Wood, back inside for Cardiff. Well taken by Leroy Joe. Breers, Wainwright. Arranging out left. Here's the offload. Nat Wood, grasped at by Hill. Leicester almost got to him as well. Eventually he's wrapped up. Warrington only 10 yards out. Here's Lee Breers. Further left to Forshaw. Clark. Good work from Dummett again by Brett McDermott. It's through so much defence. Wainwright, out it goes, and Westwood walking day at the corner again. Again, it's the width that gives Warrington a way through. Whitehaven's defence tight and organised, but they can't cope with the extra pace on the outskirts.
It's a very wide pitch, the recreation ground here, and obviously Paul Cullen knows that, and the Warrington side seem to be using both sides of the pitch, and young Westwood there skips in at the corner. The Whitehaven side defending well at the middle of the ruck, as we see Mike Forshaw to Mike Wainwright. Nice miss cut out pass there, missed out in Sibbett. And young Lee Westwood couldn't have much of an easier put down. I just hope this game doesn't start to get away from Whitehaven. They've got to keep their heads up because they're still in this game. And as I say, it's the cup. You only get one chance, so you have to perform.
Well, Lee Breers had a bit of a howler with his last attempts at a conversion, but he's on the more natural side this side. I certainly expect to kick this. The right-footed kicker can just curl these in. Cumberland Hills in the background, you can see it. Lake District just over there. Here's Breers with a kick. Oh, and it's just wide again. So Whitehaven remain very much in touching distance. Two failed conversion attempts by Lee Breers.
Not the easiest of kicks for Lee Breers, but I'm sure he would have at least liked to have popped one of them over.
Well, they'll be reasonably happy with the way things have gone so far with Warrington. They've contained Whitehaven's passion and fervour, and they have shown some real clinical finishing at the other end as well. Here's Danny Lima, who's just on from the bench, and just when you thought you've got away from that original firepower, they bring on another big pace man.
Oh, Danny Lima, he's given Warrington a lot of go forward this season. The ex-Sydney City Rooster and Manly Sea Eagles player.
Here's Wood, going to bustle his way through. Clark's waiting at dummy half, wants to get on with this quickly again, and does. Dummies to Wainwright. Well held by McDermott again. Wood, little dummy McDermott, he's not going to get past him. Sixth tackle, will rather slowed down a little here. Back it comes to Breers, who's looking for touch. Will he find it? Yes, he will. Good kick, but it'll give Whitehaven the head and feet. They're only 10 yards from their own line.
It's been a bit of a workmanlike performance by Warrington. Nothing too flashy, as you see. Lee Breers with a lovely little kick there, putting Warrington where they want to be, about 5 metres off the Whitehaven line.
Quarter-final stages of the Challenge Cup. This, of course, the Power Gen Challenge Cup. Wigan having already won through with their victory on Friday night against Wakefield. Hard fought though it might have been. This one here today, Warrington at Whitehaven, and don't forget later on this afternoon, St Helens against Hull on this very channel here on Grandstand, and also this afternoon Huddersfield against York. So it's boiling up nicely for those semi-final slots. Warrington will consider themselves to be in the driving seat at the moment, but Whitehaven, the part-timers from West Cumbria, will keep battering at them. It's Craig Chambers.
Second, back here, Brent. Hold here, back foot.
Aaron Lester.
Okay.
Leroy Joe switches it back inside to Howard Hill, the former Oldham Bear.
Third, this side. Brent.
Well, effective tackles made, 51 apiece. There'll be one or two missed though, haven't there? Unfortunately on the Whitehaven side. That's a good kick through again. It's a terrific break by Seeds. Cardis is after it back. He's got pace to cover it with comfort. Broadbent with a good tackle. Good break by Seeds. Good play all round.
Good play, good break, good chase, good tackle. If anything, I'd say that the Whitehaven side have shown a little bit more invention. And
Westwood's dropped the ball. Here's Kinney now for Whitehaven, and we will score. Whitehaven scores. Benny Westwood dropped the ball. Referee's asking a question.
I think he's going to look at how the ball was, how it came free in the tackle, but I think the ball was just lost.
Well, for my money, Ben Westwood was in a one-on-one tackle. If there were two men involved, it's illegal, but if it's a one-on-one, as he drops it...
I don't think the ball was reefed out, it was just lost in the tackle.
Yeah.
This is going to be a try.
Well, that will just turn things up a little for Warrington here, won't it now?
Just what the doctor ordered. Brett McDermott, a tireless worker down here on the right-hand side for the Whitehaven side, drives Westwood into the ground. Westwood brushes off Gary Broadbent, brushes off Lee Kiddie, but there's no brushing off Brett McDermott with a big tackle. Gets the hand in between the legs and drives him into the ground. And as we see, Lee Kiddie with a simple score, and Whitehaven are back in this game.
Well, there we are. There's a straightforward drop. Straightforward try. Is it a straightforward decision? Bit of Cumbrian history here. The first time we've had the big screen at Whitehaven, and they love it. They absolutely love it when it gives them that kind of response. The home side have their first touchdown of the afternoon. They are right back in this game at 6 points to 10, and he's the man that's done it for them. Lee Kinney with a try. He's been a long servant of this club. He's in his testimonial year this year, and there will not be many tries in his long, long career that would have been sweeter than that.
Absolutely not. To score against the full-timers, the boys with the £1 million budget, as opposed to the 30,000, which is all that Steve McCormick has to pay his entire first-team squad. So that will definitely lift them today here.
Here's Nanin with a kick. Oh, it's the post. Well, it goes without saying, you can't get closer without scoring, can you? But
Absolutely not.
Still lifted by that try. We've got a cup tie on our hands here.
Oh, absolutely. Warrington's work with like sort of status was starting to get on top of Whitehaven, but that try has definitely put them right back in this ball game.
Breers with a restart. 10 minutes to go before the half-time hooter sounds. Here's Leicester at dummy half.
Warrington, number 16, Paul Wood, replaced by number 17, Warren Stevens.
Lofa.
Third, back.
With wide run by Spencer Miller.
Oh.
Leicester's at dummy half again. You see Warren Stevens, former Whitehaven player, has come onto the pitch. He's replaced Paul Wood. Kinney. Deep inside his own half. Big kick though, huge kick. And Westwood, with some memories of what happened in this part of the field just a few moments ago, manages this time to keep it safe. It's a huge kick though. I mean, that's a great way to finish your set of six, isn't it?
Absolutely. they're a well-drilled side, our Whitehaven. Steve McCormack, has had this team in for extra training sessions, I believe, this week. And, in their own half, they've been mistake-free, and they've got a long kick.
Here's Lima. Joe Clark from dummy half. There he is again, McDermott's unquenchable appetite for the defensive side of the game. Breers, little step inside Fatty Alofa. There's the class. He's lost it. He's lost it.
Handover.
And it was the sixth tackle, so it'll be a straight handover to Whitehaven.
I don't think Paul Cullen will be too happy. There was a little bit of a gap opened up for Lee Breers. He backed himself, but Leroy Joe just managed to pull him down. And Whitehaven regained possession of the ball. You feel the crowd are starting to become a factor in this game as they start to chant, and as they take this Whitehaven side into the half-time.
There's Fatty Alofa, good drive by him. It's taken 3 Warrington defenders ultimately to bring him down. Leicester from dummy half again. Just tries to unlock the tackle of Paul Noon. 6th tackle coming up. Kiddy, not the best of kicks. It's an awful kick, actually. That might yet come good. Here's Manning, steps away, throws it out wide. It's going to be Wesley Wilson who has to cut back infield again. Still on the 6th tackle. Wilson, has he got in? Just short. Just short.
You should never let a rugby ball bounce, and we've just seen why there.
Warrington living a dangerous life at the moment. You say you should never let the ball bounce. You should never really kick it like that either, should you?
If you let a rugby ball bounce, it can do strange things.
Here's Cardis. Good play by him. Scrambling run from dummy half, lifting the pressure off his forwards. Clark from acting half-back. Wainwright's dummied. Well met by Kiddy. Here's Clark. He's looking for the gaps between the markers.
John Clark's worked very hard for Warrington in this first half.
Breers. Just a drilled kick downfield looking for distance. Broadbent with the return. He's being lifted again, needs to go to ground and hands. O'Neill.
Second, keep coming.
Broadbent. Leicester up to the acting half-back's position again. With plenty of big men willing to run, and Chambers was one of them, and if that had gone to hand, it would have really disrupted Warrington's line. As it is, it's Warrington who have it again with Gross. Here's Warren Stevens. Oh! He has copped one there. Not sure whether that was a high shot or whether the ball hit him, but my word, he has been knocked out cold.
Recovery position.
Let's sort him out.
Well, that was instant, wasn't it? The moment he hit the defender. Well, he's back with us.
Warren Stevens there, didn't really know what day it was, as we see.
Oh, that was high.
Got a high shot from Leroy Joe there. Didn't look as bad in the replay as I first thought it was. It was a high shot, but he's bleeding, Warren Stevens, and led to the blood bin. But he definitely took a shot. It was a high shot.
Welcome back to Whitehaven, son. I think that was. Local lad, Leroy Joe, is getting a chat to as well.
It's going to be a penalty, and the incident's going to go on report. But you've got to be really careful. I don't want anything up there. All right? OK.
Well, Steve Ganson has given the penalty for Warrington. He didn't get a clear view of what happened there, but he does know there's enough suspicion to put the incident on report. So that means the video will now be looked at by the RFL disciplinary panel during the week. And I suspect Leroy Joe might find himself in deeper trouble after that. Steve Ganson.
It was an open hand, in Leroy's defence. As I say, it was a high shot, and Warren Stevens is bleeding, but I've seen a lot worse.
Steve Ganson has a record up here. The last time he refereed a game here, he sent a Whitehaven player off. Here's Forshaw, who was held up 5 yards away. Mark Jackson was a player he sent off against Featherstone last year, by the way. Gleeson On from the bench for Warrington, who will add real spice to their dummy half play. Wainwright. Carnes. Driven forward again by Guisset, the Frenchman, who is going to be held up and pushed wide. McDermott's involved again. Gleeson. Breers. High one for Gross to take, but he takes it safely, skips through one tackle, thrown it inside, it's anybody's, and it has been lost. That's another let-off for Whitehaven.
Yeah, another let-off. Warrington really are using the width of this recreation ground pitch. And Brett Gross just stumbles out of a tackle. And if that ball had found John Wiltshire, it could have been staring at another try, but fortunately for Whitehaven,
Let's have the
it
ball
didn't go to a Warrington player.
McNann, who takes it forward, not seen too much of him so far in this game, have we? David Seeds has been the more eye-catching centre, wearing the chocolate yellow and blue. That's been stolen by Nat Wood. All on, says the referee, and Wood is away and will score. Now this has got to be a square in the air. The referee's going to ask the question here. Let's hear what he has to say.
Got it. Just see if it was stolen with two men, or it was pulled out before the tackle was complete. Just have a look.
Now with the two men here.
Beats the tackle. There are two men in the tackle there, I think.
Would you say? Would you say? I think Warrington might get away with that.
Question of interpretation. I always thought that once two men went into the tackle, even if one man left the tackle, then it's still counted as you're not allowed to steal the ball, but we'll have to wait and see what Perry has to say about it.
The briefest brushing of the hand at Wainwright on the Whitehaven player. Now, if that technically means he's involved in the tackle, there are two men involved, but...
Exactly, as I say, Mike Wainwright, he does touch the player, but then does step back and allows Nathan Wood to steal the ball. So, as I say, it's a question of technicalities.
If it's one-on-one, it's legal. If there are deemed to have been two men involved, then it is illegal and a Whitehaven penalty.
The Whitehaven team did seem to stop for a fraction of a second, allowing Warrington to score that try. And at the end of the day, you must play to the referee's whistle, regardless of what you think is going on. As we see, technically, does Mike Wainwright touch Gary Broadbent? Because if he does, that's a two-man tackle. You can see slowly here.
Tell you what,
Nathan Wood's got hold of him. Mike Wainwright, ooh.
Well, however this decision goes, somebody's going to complain.
Try.
And I have to say, I do believe that is the right decision. Nathan Wood with the third Warrington try of the afternoon. Is that going to be enough to break Whitehaven's resistance? Or can they find yet another route back into this game again?
Not really what Steve McCormack would have wanted. But, you know, that's the way it goes in cup football. You take your chances, and hopefully I do feel that Whitehaven should have played to the whistle. I feel that their team would you know, stop for a fraction of a second to allow the Warrington player in.
Breers has pushed it wide again.
Well, he's got his kicking boots on today, Lee Breers.
Left them on the couch, I think. Only 1 out of 4 for Lee Breers today. And it means that the lead is 8 points, but it could have been much more. Now, bear in mind that there is an RFL ruling on these decisions that if the video referee has any doubts whatsoever, always to give the advantage to the attacking team. And I think there might have been an element of that involved there as well.
There was a large element of doubt there, and as you say, if there is an element of doubt, the attacking team should get the spoils.
Now, Whitehaven are only trailing by 8. Had Lee Breers' kicking been better, it could have been a much healthier position for Warrington. Oh, now that's been dropped, but it never went to ground. That is kept to hold at the second attempt. Guisset. Up and down by McDermott. Nathan Wood. Danny Lima. driving it in and knocking them back.
It's like a bowling ball, that Danny Lima.
Wainwright looking for the inside ball. Forshaw was left a bit short. I think it was an interception as much as anything there, not a steal. It was just an interception by Howard Hill.
A lot of ball stealing going on. You think Gavin Clinch was out there?
Clinch the pinch. Gavin Clinch, of course, the
Salford
player who's renowned for stealing the ball, isn't he?
He's turned it into an art form.
At Whitehaven, looking to fight their way back into this game. Fatty Alofa, still going, still looking for the offload. Leicester. Leroy Joe, back to Fatty Alofa again. This is Kinney. Kinney with a dummy, can't get through. Wainwright puts it to ground. 6 tackle coming up. It's back with Leroy Joe again. Middle chip over the top. Wilshire is back with a safe pair of hands. And a good tackle. So Wilshire has done a real job there. Cubs. Ducked under the attempted tackle from Kinney.
Squared up, good.
Westwood.
Roll it through, come on, Dave. Roll it through.
Gleeson. Howard Hill drags him down.
Come on.
Next tackle, the field will bring the hooter. And that's it. Well, it's been a battling first half from Whitehaven. Just what we expected. And we'll look back on that Lee Kinney try in the 29th minute as a sign that they still have hope in this game. But 3 Warrington tries has put the Super League giants in the ascendancy at half-time. Whitehaven 6, Warrington 14.
So Dennis Betts, Steve McCormack was just about to say, well done chaps, but it all went a bit pear-shaped towards the end. This is the first try for Warrington.
Yeah, I think Warrington just got a little bit of an edge there. It's a real good ball. This is the second try again, they're just catching Whitehaven out on the edges.
This is where I think Whitehaven came back into it. Lee Kiddie with the try for them after Ben Westwood had actually dropped the ball right by his own goal line. Lee Kiddie racing over there to give the home crowd exactly what they wanted and their team on the scoreboard this afternoon. And at that stage, Whitehaven, with a very good game plan, had fought their way back into it and were battling hard and were looking to go in at half-time feeling very much still in the game. But then, unfortunately for them, this happened. Nat Wood over for the 3rd try, and Warrington at the moment lead by 14 points to 6. So Steve McCormack, what will he say to his side at half-time?
Steve McCormack will be very pleased. I think he'll go in saying that we have got a very good chance in this game. Warrington's intensity is nil. I wouldn't like to be in the Warrington dressing room now. The paint will be coming off the walls. I think Paul Cullen will be really reading the right act. Warrington's intensity is nil. And Whitehaven, the thing about it is if you can smell the dinner, you're more likely to want it. And they've definitely got a sniff of this game. Whitehaven want this game.
No signs of Whitehaven maybe fading in the second half, though. They look physically well up for it.
Yeah, they look well prepared. Steve McCormack's got them well drilled. And the commentary in the game is saying that Steve McCormack is a good coach. He knows what he wants and he's showing out there on the field. Whitehaven have got a very good chance in this game.
Just the 8 points difference, Claire. It could be a very interesting second half.
Good. If you can smell the dinner, you're more likely to want it. That's a great line. God, it's a bit physical though, isn't it? Brian Noble's been watching it alongside Jonathan Davis. What have they been doing at Sellafield? Whatever it is, it involves a lot of swinging arms. Whitehaven are great.
They're great. Well, to use a boxing analogy, they're still in there swinging punches, literally. Ask Warren Stevens at this time of half-time. He'll not know much about it. But, yeah, it's a very, very good cup tie. And Whitehaven are just hanging on for every little bit of a scrap. If Warrington lose a ball, they're on it. They pounce on it. They're like a pool of sharks. They're down there for every little sniff of blood they can find. And a little bit more composure, a couple of their breaks, they could have had some more points. But I think Warrington need to change a little bit. They need to play with a bit more width, a bit more speed off the ground, because Whitehaven are just trying to slow the game down at every opportunity. You know, they'll kick touch lines, they'll go walk slowly to the scrum because they can't match physically, you know, the prowess of Warrington. But yeah, Dennis has got it right. There's somebody wanting a dinner up there.
Yeah, they sure are. They can smell it. Jonathan, the width is where Warrington do, when they do play with width, that's where they're scoring tries.
I think they've got to show them respect, but I think they show them a little bit too much respect. It is a bit of a dogfight now, and what Warrington have got to do is play to their wider, pacey men, because they are a lot quicker, and they've got to get away because they are causing problems. And you know, as Brian said, what's happening is anything on the floor, they're still in the game. But this is the wide pass, first of all. Number 5, O'Neill, is too far back. You know, he allows the space for Wiltshire to run into it, and that's all you got to do. This is the ball. First of all, the defensive line of Whitehaven are far too tight. There's 4 players there, and one pass takes out 4 players. As Gross gets the ball, there's the winger. He's too far back. He should have been 5 or 6 yards further on, which creates the space for Gross to run at him, and then Wiltshire will just finish. And there's no overlap there, none at all. They haven't created overlaps whatsoever. It's just that poor defensive decisions and positioning, and they've been caught out wide.
And Brian, is that typical of the gulf between a Super League professional side and a side that, you know, that have to work for a living? They'll be up doing shifts tomorrow at Sellafield.
I think so. You get more opportunity to practice these things, but as Jiffy says there, that was a one-on-one foot race, and at this level, that's what you're trying to create. The Warrington side were trying to create one-on-one foot races, speed races, or one-on-one physical matches, you know, with strength right across the board, and I think that's why, you know, Paul Cullen will be talking about moving the ball a little bit more to tire the Whitehaven team out.
Well, let's have a look at Warrington's second try, which came from Ben Westwood.
Same thing, there's no overlap. What, you know, again, you watch Wainwright, he's just come from the open side to create a 3-on-3. But unfortunately, the other winger this time, you know, just comes in and Westwood scores. Wilson is ball watching, 3-on-3. It's a lovely pass. There's Wainwright, I played with Wainwright, believe it or not. And
he is that old?
Yes, he is. He's a lovely ball handler. Just saw the spot, run across, but again, no overlap. Wrong decision in defence. 4 points.
Well, Westwood turned from hero to a slight villain, dropping the ball and letting Whitehaven in for their one try of the half.
Once they've scored in it, Brian, as a coach, you know, you know they switch on for the next, you know, set of 6. He goes in, he tries to throw a left hook, misses with that, and then he drops the ball, and it's just as simple as that.
Is that an example of Warrington getting a bit unsettled by the very physical presence of Whitehaven, and in fact the Westwood dropped the ball, as you say, because he's trying to throw a punch, he's trying to play the way they're playing?
He's just got to go in, go to ground, get a quick play of the ball, and then get another drive on. It's as simple as that, and then get a good kick. I think with Warrington, they're a type of side that if you play against lesser opposition, they are likely to get dragged down to it. If they play against better opposition, they will rise to the occasion. Now they've got to rise their standards and play with the confidence and the strength and ability that, you know, they should be showing.